So how about I kick off this evening's video with the official hashtag joyant and jubilant hello to all of my good friends out there in the trading universe, or any friends I have in any universe for that matter. Welcome to this evening's video. My name is Doug. This is Trade with Doug. And as my promise and commitment has always been, I'm just here to share my 2 decades of trading experience with you guys, just so you can avoid a couple of sleepless nights, put a few Skrillas in your pocket, and live a really great, freedom, wonderful, happy life. That's what I'm here for. And I hope I can achieve that in today's video. Now, before I start, as always, if you guys need help, somewhere here on the screen, down in the description box, or somewhere here on this page, you will find a link that will guide you to our live trading community. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. So you know what we're going to talk about today, obviously, right? We're going to go back and visit little baby Nio. That's right. We're packing our bags. We're going back to visit little baby Nio. You remember we were trading this thing in the 13s. Did a price call at 50. We saw it grows up all the way into the 60. Did a Benjamin button, reverses back down to 37 where it sits right now. So the question is, as we see with tons of stocks right now, is this a buy right here? And you know, on a side note, we've got to come up with some sort of like, what do we call this correction? Because if you're looking around in the market, you're seeing the Dow's doing great, SPY's doing great, NASDAQ, not so good. And these super growth stocks, I don't know if you want to call it the growth exodus, we got to come up with some sort of name. Get creative with me. Put that down in the description box because it's really been specific towards these big power Momo growth stocks over the last couple of years. So let's get down to business. Is Nio a buy? Yes or no? Well, if we're looking at just technicals, I have to say the answer is yes. I mean, this is a very good looking risk versus reward setup. And it's one of my favorite setups, which I call the lowercase h, where you have a stock that moves down, bounces, creates a double bottom, and then moves back up, creating the ending part of what we call a check mark. Now, let me make that a little bit more clear for everyone to see. We're looking at a daily chart right here. I'm going to expand this just a little bit better so we can see the last little areas of it. This teal line right here is the 200-day moving average. So this is normally a really dependable, this is just a simple moving average. I don't use any of the otother kinds. This is 200 SMA. I don't use any exponential or weighted moving average. It's just a standard SMA, and it's sort of a roadmap for me. I've done a video a long time ago about the 200-day moving average. The thing I highlighted at the 200-day moving average was it's sort of an area that's always kind of separated good from evil. And what I mean that is as long as a stock is above its 200-day moving average, it's considered, let's say the industry experts, okay, to be bullish. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that 100%. I'm just sharing you some old insider things. Maybe after all this, the way the market's trading, we should just throw all our old books out because they don't mean anything these days. And anything under there is traditionally bearish. So you got support here off of the 200-day move average. Nice little bounce, but then sells back down and retests it. Now, there are a few things I like. I want to make the bullish case, and then I want to make the bearish case. Because here's the thing about technical analysis. It really becomes on how a trader translates it. Because I can sit here and talk to you and make my case and probably sell half of you on why it's bullish. And then I can do another video and sell half of you why it's bearish, okay? I just try to look at these things objectively, non-biasedly, and look at what I see and then try to translate it. And I'll go through the steps here with you. So one of the things that I do like, or let's say the bullish case, or what I really do like about it, is we have a nice little, let's call it like a curl, like it pulls down in here, and you got a couple of tests of this 200-day moving average. And over the last 4 sessions, it's held that. So you've had 4 days for the bears to take control of this stock, press it through those lows, back here where the stock had support previously. It's had the opportunity for 4 days, and it's defended it. Now let's talk about defending it. Well, it's defended it, but it hasn't done it with authority. Like it hasn't bounced off of there aggressively. Maybe until today we could say kind of aggressively. But today you do have a nice little bounce. So if we're just looking at straight risk versus reward, okay, which is really a big deal in stock trading, really risk. I mean, I don't think you can go too wrong other than just the standard setup here by longing right here where you have like 37.50. That was, let me try it right, 37.50. 37.50 with the stop right here, you know, and target your first level of here, your next level of here, and maybe you can get back up to 60. So if you look at the potential trade overall, you're risking about $4 to get maybe 25. But that's quality risk versus reward. Now, I don't want to make a big deal about reward because that's market dependent. And if things are continuing the way they are with this chop and slop and negative price action in the NQs and growth stocks around, this could definitely go lower. But here's one point I want to make about that. We can't control what happens really after we're in the trade, right? And what I mean by that is when you enter a trade, you're just sort of at the mercy of the market. So there's a lot of things you can't control. You cannot control what comes out in the news. You can't control who tweets what. You can't control things that happen to these stocks where they become vulnerable to hit pieces, secondary offerings. There's this whole world of danger after you enter. And that's what no trader, I said no trader in this world will ever know, no matter how long they do this. But here's one thing that you do know that you can control, and you can control yourself. And you can control your risk by always using stops. At certain areas, you must cut the position. Here's what I like about Nio. If it trades under here, you will know one thing for sure. You have lost the 200-day moving average after about a month of trying to defend such a pivotal area. You would have to think if it cannot hold that, it will definitely get aggressive to the downside. You will see a much more exacerbated move. And at least the question's answered. Is it bullish or bearish? Well, if it loses that, it's definitely bearish. So buying it right here does make sense from the technical standpoint because the risk is very, very low. And if you get any move up here, you could take a percentage of it off and just see. And basically with this type of a pullback, with this type of risk reward, you just really need 1 or 2 solid days. You don't have to be greedy or aggressive and think you're going back up to 60. We may not be in that type of market climate anymore, but you have some cash flow or the ability to make money. And I like where it sits. What I'm not liking, now that's my bear case. So when I'm looking at technicals, I'm going to say, yes, Nio is a buy. When I look at risk to reward, yes, Nio is a buy. If we could get 1 or 2 days of just a dead bounce in the NASDAQ, would only help this. Any positive EV, anything would bump this stock, but the risk is very low. That's what I like. What do I hate? What do I hate? I don't hate China. I hate the fact that this is a Chinese company. That bothers me. That was always an issue I had while holding it. I'm not a fan of holding Chinese companies. Now, I've already done a video before about the China hustle. I'm not going to go into that. I mean, I just know historically, it's not like we've always been reassured. I mean, we see what happened with Baba recently. There's all kinds, there's an extra added element of risk when you're trading a Chinese company. Don't believe me? Watch the China hustle. That's all I'm going to say about it. So for that, that's one of my concerns. My other concern would be we just haven't shown anything across the board here, market-wise, EV sector-wise, that has shown any promise as of late. I mean, look, the leader of the show, like I said yesterday, the Spartacus of stocks, right, is Tesla. Tesla itself has gone through some bearish activity. Now we're looking at the intraday here. All of these EVs look good. That's another thing I didn't mention about Nio is that the daily chart looks really, really well. I'll touch upon this in just a second. But even this is pulling back. FUV was another one, pulling back. So I think in order for these things to really establish a rally, they're going to need an overall, what do I want to say, like an enthusiasm change, right? Like a sentiment change. And I think growth stocks, EV stocks, marijuana stocks, all the hot stocks that everybody loves, you want to call them meme stocks, whatever you want to call them, are starting to quickly fall. Well, they've fallen out of favor. Many of these things have been destroyed. And the other thing I don't like about Nio, it's been laying down here for a while, and it's not really that enthusiastic of buying. So those are the things I don't like. But I tell you what, I will be honest. I think the positives far outweigh the negatives here. I think this is something at this point worth taking a shot at. Oh, and here's what I wanted to highlight. Something that I do as well like today, I know I bounced around there a little bit, is I'm always a trader that's really focused on offense and defense sort of approach where You're always going to get a move, bullish or bearish, like this. So you get a really bullish move at the open. That does nothing for me but catch my attention. What I always want to see in every stock is the retaliation. So when you have a bullish move, what do the bears have to say about it? When you have a bearish move, what do the bulls have to say about it? Can they come back and change the pace of this stock? Can they come back and sell this stock off? And what we have recently witnessed in our market right now is for the last 2 weeks, I don't know, I could go on for an hour of how many stocks began the day so aggressive and so positive only to end up in the toilet before it was all said and done, right? So far, look, I've got 40 minutes before the market closes as I'm doing this. So all bets could be off by the time you watch this. If this dumps while I'm editing the video, I'm still going to publish it for everyone. So what we are doing well, though, is we're holding a very nice tight range box up here. Really looks good. You know, we call it like sunglasses. Here, let's give it a smiley face. It's like Megatron. Okay, really nice. So that's good. The fact that it's holding up at least 3/4 of this move is good. What does that really mean to you technical analysis noobs? It means none of these people that we're buying have yet to be threatened or shaken out of this position. So as long as this holds up, they won't be threatened, and they'll be more likely to hold this position overnight, and we could see a continuation of this rally tomorrow. If it gets ugly and you start going into there, then it will, the hopes, the enthusiasm, whatever kind of emotion we want to experience to wish for a rally again will quickly be dampened, and down she goes. So, to make a long story short, if you stuck around here, I think you know where I stand by now. The answer is yes. I believe Nio is a buy. I will be taking a shot here probably. I think the risk versus reward is really good. If nothing else, if it doesn't work out well, it's not a painful trade, but there's a lot of potential upside available here. And all we really need is one little gust of wind to go our way this week, and we're gonna turn out really well with this trade. So anyway, that's where I stand with little baby Nio, who's all grown up and now 37. Let's see if we can reignite it back up to 60. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you very much for your support of this channel, for watching this video. As always, if you need help, feel free to reach out to me. Like the video. You know what to do with a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. Until next time, guys, take care. See you soon.